Hello, hello, hello to YouTube, everybody far and wide. It is me, Rabbidroo, back doing a bit of Broodwar casting. Still working through my replay pack from 2023 until such time as I get some feedback to what of the modern day ladder replays people would like to see. So I have a Snow on his goofing around account here in the bottom right of Polypoid, and he's playing against a Terran. I don't know who this is, and honestly I don't really care all that much. I think when ladder games are being played and one of them is a pro, pretty safe to assume that the other player is either a pro or a semi-pro, because all of these accounts are kept in the 2300 to 2500 MMR range, give or take. So yeah, man, we are back. We have done about 7 games already. I think this is the 8th one since we've returned. Obviously they get drip fed out onto YouTube, and I was kind of thinking about what it was that made me stop casting. I think one of the things was definitely sort of time and other priorities in life, but also, you know, I think it was one of those things that I just took too seriously. I think, you know, the view counts and stuff like that were starting to matter to me, and the like pressure to produce content all the time as well. I think this time around, I consider this sort of the second time around, I'm not going to take it that seriously, and whatever happens, whoever watches, if anybody enjoys it or engages with me, cool. If they don't, you know, then that's also totally fine. I'm not too phased. I will prefer to make content that is requested for a few people who enjoy it than making content that I think caters to everybody, and you know, not have it be as enjoyed, because there's so much casting done on YouTube. You know, there is Flash's games being casted by Protoss, there's all of the ASL and competition stuff being done by Namcroft and CNSC. There's Falcon, who yeah, anyway, he still kind of does a mix of pro games, but I mean, I've followed his channel for quite some time, and his, you know, his view counts have definitely dropped over time, because I think better casters, or casters who are more technically astute with the game, are covering high quality games. Now that there's no more replay scarcity, I think he's certainly had to adapt, and he's done well in the way that he's adapted. I believe he's gone full time, and he's doing Twitch streaming, and you know, he's done a really good job in creating a community that can compensate for his, I suppose, lack of technical game knowledge, and you know, I admire him for it. I think he's done very well. So that basically leaves no real clear gap in Broodwar as far as I can see. It's the most bog standard open from Snow I've seen in ages. He's just basically opening with the range expand 21 or 23 Nexus. Very, very bog standard stuff from him. SCV Scout has obviously got in here, seeing that it's an expansion on 21, and it is 21 because there's a single Dragoon only, but he is getting range. Putting in a bit of pressure here. Let's keep an eye on the health bar. Missed a bit of a micro step there, I think. Let's follow this Dragoon home. So yeah, I guess that's my question, is where is the void? Where is the gap? I think with Seawall, you can search by MMR, you can search by map, you can search by match type. It gives you so much opportunity to showcase different interesting things on the ladder. Just makes me think, is there a curiosity, a desire for people to see what's happening on the ladder? rush builds that are being done, because you can also search by duration of games. So you can say on average across 20 games that lasted between 5 and 10 minutes in PVT, which race is doing the rushing and what is the build that they're using and what is the win rate and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying that I'd be able or even willing to go that deep in terms of research, but I do know, for example, people will say, oh, this map is Terran favored, so you can just go, all right, I will showcase 20 games on this map between these two races, and we'll see what the win rate is across those 20 games on various MMRs and ranks, and then make an informed sort of decision on that. Does that interest people? I don't know. Maybe people just want to see Flash play. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not up to me to decide what people want to watch, but I would like some input and some suggestions before adding to my casting bank. So I've got some games that I grabbed on the ladder from years ago that I'm still working through now while I'm getting back into it. When I get some meaningful feedback, I think I'll also post something on the community page in YouTube when I start uploading again and releasing the content. Right now I'm just recording it. I'll see what's said there as well, but at least hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. If it's just one more person doing more of the same, if that's what people want and they just can't get enough of watching Flash, then I suppose so be it. But if people are interested in something different, I'd be interested in hearing about it. So we are in chaos mode here. We're doing a vulture run by here. We're microing a fight here against some tanks, and looks like we tied it up there okay without losing too much. Looks like this Dragoon decided he wanted to go the long way home, but he survived okay. And looks like we've stabilized again. 2 pylons, because we got ourselves nice and supply blocked snow while we were doing all of that micro. We've moved our goon. So he's just started with a very basic 2-gate observer. I don't see a support base here. A 2-gate observer into Reaver, which is very much Snow style. We all know how much he loves Reba. Another thing I've been wanting to ask the community at large is the view on this panel here. So if I look at casters, that's nicely done. Scans and kills the observer pretty fast. So if I look at casters, Artosis casts with this up the entire game, right? People like CNSC and Falcon, they will start the cast without it like this, and they will keep it like this pretty much the entire game, and only bring it up if they want to look at something specific, like what's the health on the shuttle or what's in the shuttle, and then boom, they will leave it away. I think keeping it on and moving it away when it impedes vision on a fight is my preference, but I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on that. Asking for a lot of feedback on a lot of different things. I'm not really too fussed as to when I get this feedback, but it would be cool to be able to. We have a push. Off of how many factories are we doing this push? 1, 2, 3 factories. And we're expanding into science facility behind this, so this is by no means an all-in. In fact, we've all gone home now. I think it's because we're sensing that the Reaver is about to arrive. Nice. Okay, so we're keeping an eye on the shuttle and the goons. So this is very, very good from Snow. So we'll zoom out a bit here just to try and give you the idea. So the command center is being made, and he's just trying to delay the expansion of the Terran. And I think behind this, he'd probably be trying to set up an expansion of his own. So this is just very, very high level play to have the APM to be able to micro the Reavers, to slow down. Because if you're a bad player like me, the Terran just takes the space, no problem. But because you're good enough to bring your army forward and micro Reavers, it causes Terran so many hassles. Alright, so the Goliaths have come forward, trying to pip the shuttle here, which is pretty clever. Because the shuttle is a big part of what makes this problematic. He needs to grab these Reavers now. Oh, he loses both shuttles and a Reaver. Mistake from Snow. Nicely played there by the Terran. Snow decides, you know what? I have 8 Dragoons, you have 4 tanks. I'm going to jump on this. He picks off a tank, picks off a goon, and now he runs away. So still stubbornly fighting this, and has taken his 4th behind this. So I think by no means falling behind in this game by any stretch of the imagination is Snow. He's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways, slow zealots. Those will soon become speed zealots, although we don't have the leg upgrade in the production tab at this stage. So here does come that command center. So just through playing with the Reavers, this command center has been delayed by over a minute, and the impact that makes on the where the game scales, the timings that the Terran can have in terms of attacks, etc., is massive. I think this will be the end of it now. Snow's delayed as much as he can. He'll have a few pods of Dragoons to intercept. He's taking a 5th base behind this as well, because he's seen Terran seems to be wanting to play an expansion game. I don't know if he's had an observer here as well, but turns out Terran's double expanded in the sense that they're going up to 4 bases now. If Snow doesn't sniff this out pretty soon, I think he's going to have a tough time in this game, because I said this in a recent cast of mine, if Terran gets 4 bases, they will make it to 25 minutes without a problem 100% of the time. And your issue as the Protoss is if Terran makes it to 25 minutes, it's going to max once, twice, possibly even 3 times, depending on how the fights and the trades go. So your option as Protoss is to basically take the rest of the map so that you have enough capacity to be able to regrow and trade inefficiently. So in other words, you've got to spend... Oh, that's funny, the probe gets a kill. You're a hero. You've got to spend heaps more money than what Terran does to play a longer game of Starcraft. That's just the mechanics of the matchup from an economical point of view. So if you don't make the money, you ain't going to spend it. So the only way you make the money is you harvest resources at a rate far, far superior to the Terran, and you never ever lose your entire army along the way. If you lose your entire army in one fight, the game is over. You will not be able to recover. Terran will just be able to push too many key positions too fast. Okay, so we're clearing a few mines, doing map control-y kind of stuff. A lot of the action should center around this spot here, because Protoss wants to fight for these 3 bases to the right, and so I think that's where a lot of the game will sort of center. We're not just the future. I don't understand why Snow wants to push up here with speed zealots. This is nicely walled off. He doesn't have Reavers, he doesn't have High Templar. He's researching Storm, so it does seem to be part of the plan. He is adding a few gateways, and looks like he's probably going to be beefing up the gateway count at the bottom left, which is his inverted commas second main. It's a very common tactical thing if you are a Protoss player, to get yourself 2 main bases as quickly as you can, so you're able to produce units from more than a singular location. Also, you start to run out of space in your base, which doesn't seem to be Snow's problem. I think he's built a beautiful sim here, but you can see as well he's adding some... yeah, and look at this. Even a player of his caliber has got 2 idle probes. Happens to the best of us, man. Another base being taken over here. So Snow does understand that the rules of this game, if Terran is mining 4 bases, you need 7 to 8 bases as Protoss. You basically need the rest. If Terran gets up to 5 bases, it's very rare that they'll lose a PVT. Obviously it depends on the timing and how long they're mining concurrently. Ow. Couple of painful mine hits here. I must say, this is not one of Snow's better games. It's a bit all over the show here. Clearing some mines. The mine pathing from the Terran's been very useful. He's laid mines behind wherever Snow's been looking to push, and that's been helpful. Oh, there we go. And his just clearing of mines has been bad. He's thrown down a few storms and has picked up a few tanks and then runs away. Oh, loses that High Templar. Kind of storms himself a bit there. That Zealot ate 3 of the mines, which is good. Some counter-attacking Zealot play with a single cannon. There's no goons here to fight these Zealots, and he could technically run by. It's quite a frenetic game here, and the pathing along... I'm just laughing because of the number of units that he's lost to mines. It's been hysterical. Also, I feel like his composition mix is a little bit too Zealot heavy, and he doesn't have enough Dragoons on the map. He's just lost too many Dragoons to mines. He does have a few here that he's not currently actively using anywhere. The one thing Snow is getting right is he does continue to expand, and he's not really needing to defend those positions. But guess what? We have a maxed out Terran against a not even maxed out Protoss. And he's now going to push, and it looks like he's chosen the left half of the map. And he's doing so because if you can get down to this left side, you can expand behind this into this spot here. And then if he successfully holds that position, he's in a very, very, very strong position to win this match. Nice number of storms here, but it's going to be impossible for Snow to fight this. So it does back away. Nothing else happening on the minimap at this stage. My word, Caster's Rust is a thing. It is unbelievable. Like, I forgot what the shortcut keys are. I forgot so many things. You forget to watch the minimap. You forget to watch the production tab. You don't get like super into it, and it takes a long, long time to get back into it. It's almost like being match fit. So he has successfully come down here, and this is a reality of playing Protoss versus Terran in late game. You will lose 2 bases often to a push. The giant mech ball push, it's next to impossible to hold. So the key is to be able to expand, which is why he's got some patrolling vultures here. He wants to block Snow basically re-establishing a new operation somewhere else. He's banking up a lot of money. I really, really like this game for the Terran. I think that Snow is going to have a very hard time winning from here. Terran's just got too many bases in a very strong position. Snow's not using any technology other than Storm, and this Terran's even got some spare units here. Could possibly push another position, but this is toast. There's no world in which he holds here, I don't think. Some nice storms, admittedly, but just more and more reinforcements coming down. So many tanks, more tanks here, more tanks coming down. Even expanding over here. Like, the macro of this Terran has been insanely good. Snow does expand here, but this is now, he's got nothing that can protect that. This is very vulnerable. Only a few cannons here. Does have predominantly just zealots that he's sending up here. So yeah, we can watch this get decimated. It is what it is. A couple of nice little drops, but that is inevitably going to go down. This is being established. This is going to fall. Nice little counter here. Snow did pick up that obviously as Terran you can't be absolutely everywhere. But losing this main and not establishing another main, meaning that all your production is singularly coming out of one spot, now has scanned here. This is a nice full juicy base with lots of money. So this is going to be a win for Terran just based on the very simple macroeconomic premise. And if I can put my finger on a specific spot, it was letting Terran expand to base 3 and 4 simultaneously without contesting for it. And not successfully establishing this and this, the second main, because now Terran has just basically gotten insurmountably powerful. Also, nice healthy work count, I must say. does deny this base, but at the end of the day, this isn't his base. It's supposed to be Protoss's base to begin with. Got a nice healthy bank of money. Gonna cut these units off as well. So the rest of Snow's army is basically just goons. Also, just the number of units in the mid game that he lost to mines. Just another lovely example here. Was very, very sloppy for a professional player. Really, really, really bad. Boop. Well, that one he just ate the mines. So there's just too much Terran. He's maxed out permanently. He's got so much money. So this base has been destroyed. It's just a matter of time now. I think if Snow was playing a competition instead of being on the ladder, he would have GG'd already. But because ladder is just predominantly for practice purposes, obviously the appetite just to play for fun is a bit higher. Also, in terms of this build, I don't think you would see Snow do this today. This game was played in 2023. Snow is a big fan of the skipping range, or delaying range should I say, and going straight into Robo to get out a faster Reaver. He didn't do that, and his Reavers did no damage. And then Terran got onto 4 bases. And that was it! It's a very, very simple game in many terms, PVT. It's not complicated, it's like all of these matchups. It just comes down to the macroeconomics of it all. So Terran is now on this doorstep. This base is a history. This base is history. This base is denied. I don't know what these units are up here for. I suppose they just don't want to walk into the mines. He doesn't want to fight with what units he has left. I suppose the pros use this as an opportunity just to macro small fights, try and work on their efficiencies, their skills, their APM, their multitasking. There's no downside to playing a game, even while it's over, just to work on certain skill sets, which is what they're doing here. Terran much the same. He doesn't have to do the defensive matrix on the 2 vultures. He doesn't need to be efficient in these trades, but it's just part of practice, which is good to see. So Snow is playing it out right till the end, but the game has been over, as I said, for quite some time. So yeah, man, just a reminder that no matter how good you are, if you let Terran get free bases and you're not able to slow down their expansion or do meaningful harassment in the early game, and take good trades in the mid game, as Protoss, there's just no winning. Simple as that, especially if the Terran is decent. I don't know what this Templar's doing. He doesn't have any energy. I think he may have got EMP'd and just watched the game from there. But anyway, if you're still with me, thank you so much for watching. I would appreciate any feedback on some of the questions that I asked earlier, even though I probably don't remember what they all are. Anyway, I'm Rabbit Roo. I'll see you soon. Cheers.